Hi, friends, and welcome to the fourth episode of the Sister Knitting Society podcast. I am Grace.
And I'm Elizabeth, and we are so excited that you're here to hang out with us for a little knit time today. So, if it's your first time watching the podcast, welcome. If it is you've been here for a while, then welcome back. If you don't already, please subscribe to our channel and like our videos and leave us comments so that it looks like we have friends other than each other. Thanks. Um, yeah, I think that's it. Grace, what are you drinking today?
Today, I am drinking black chocolate tea. It's very
Black
tasty.
chocolate.
Yeah, it has a bit of sweetness to it, but it's still got the nice tea leaf flavor. So I'm into it. It's a good one. What are you drinking?
I am drinking my Wuthering Heights Yarn Club tea. So if you watched last week's episode, I talked about getting the book Mystery Yarn from Long Dog Yarns. It's hard to say. And it came with a Earl Grey cream tea. So I'm drinking that today. It's the first time I've had it, and it's really good.
Yay!
Cool. All right. Should we jump into our knitting content for the week?
We should. Do you have any FOs?
I do not have any finished objects this week, although I'm getting really close. But I'll talk about those in our whips. Do you have any finished objects this week, Grace?
I do have finished objects this week. I stayed in bed all morning so that I could finish this. I have my Hibernation house socks by Larkspur Knits done. The proof, there's both of them.
Yay!
They're not on needles. I'm very excited. I used my beautiful purple yarns that I've talked about in past episodes, so I won't rehash all of it. But they turned out so beautiful with the nice what's this called, mohair on top, and then just fingering. And I used merino cashmere nylon blend, so it's very soft and cozy. And I wanted to have them on my feet, but I couldn't because I need to show them on camera.
Now you can put them on.
Yeah, exactly. And that's my only FO. I haven't finished anything else, but I love them.
Really they look so good.
Thank you.
So excited. I really want to make a pair too.
You should. Now that I've made two, I think I'll be good for a little while, but I don't think this is my last pair of them. They're so cute.
Yeah. They look so pretty. I don't know. Maybe if I have like some leftover mohair hanging around, I could use some of that. Because how much does it take?
Not a lot. I didn't weigh it exactly, but I started out with 100 grams and I still have much of it available. So I have yellow and purple mohair if you want to use that. I'll ship it over to you.
I might actually.
Next
time I see you. Because that sounds fun.
Yeah, it was really nice to work with. I'd never worked with mohair before.
It's really luxurious.
Not as fun when it's just the only thing that you're working with, I'm sure. But in tandem with some fingering weight yarn, very nice.
I have been making progress on my mohair only shawl. I finished the I don't have it sitting next to me, of course, but I finished the Make 30 for 30 challenge in January, and I am well over halfway done with the wrap now. So I think it calls for it to be like 84 inches, and the last time I measured it, I was at 47. So
yay, that's so exciting.
So I don't knit 30 minutes a day on it anymore because that's a long time, but we have a call every morning at 8:15, and so I usually work on that during the call. So I usually get, like, depending on the day, like 15 to 30 minutes of knitting done on it on our call. So that's kind of my wrap knitting time because it needs to get done. But I did finish some other stuff, so I'll do my socks first since you did your socks. So last week I had a half finished object where I finished one of my Gerste socks from the 52 Weeks of Socks book. And I hadn't cast on the second one yet. So I did cast that on this week. And I finished the foot and I did the heel. So now I just have to do the leg.
Wow.
You know.
That's a lot of progress on a sock in 1 week.
I was feeling like, for some reason, I was feeling really like down on myself this week that like I hadn't gotten a lot of knitting done. And then I looked and I was like, wait a minute, like I almost finished. Like if this was a shorty sock, it'd be like done by now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm actually kind of proud of this. I did finish the whole foot and the heel, and it's a German short row heel because it's a toe up sock. I don't usually knit toe up socks, but I really like this pattern, and I didn't feel like trying to convert it to cuff down. Um, because I do like I like the idea of knitting toe up socks, and I like the idea of being able to do that with like scraps of yarn that you've already used, or like the leftovers of a skein where you might not have like the whole 100 grams. Um, and I like the idea of doing two at a time toe up socks so you can like use up every scrap of that yarn. So I want to get better at it, so I figured I would do it. So yeah, these are my Gerste socks. These are in the backcountry knitter yarn in the colorway Native Wildflower, which I talked about before. And the texture is really pretty. I think I did do a better job on the German short row heel this time. I kind of knew what I was in for. It's still not perfect, but I'm feeling more confident about trying different types of heels now. I think I want to try an afterthought heel next, maybe on like a vanilla sock, because I love the way that they look. Especially with self-striping yarn, being able to do an afterthought heel. So I don't know. If anybody has advice on afterthought heels or like good tutorials to watch to figure out how to do them, please let me know. So yeah, there's my first whip, my Gerste sock. I like it. I can't wait to wear it. So, and here's the other one here, the finished one. So see it like it keeps the texture all the way through the sock, and it's really lovely. And then the cuff kind of just like sock. I like how the cuff kind of blends into the rest of it. Like, you know, I just think it's a well-written pattern, and it's really well done, and I'm super happy with them so far. So that's my first whip.
Yay! I only have one whip this week, and it's the same whip I had last week. I've not made very much progress on it. I was like here last week, so I did another round of 14. There you go. That's okay. This is my Garnered Cardi by Alicia Plummer. We're definitely Alicia Plummer fangirls in this podcast. I realized after last week we were like big Alicia Plummer fangirls, which is fine because she's lovely and amazing. And she even linked our podcast last week because she's a godsend and an angel. What a wonderful human being. She is.
Yeah, thank you, Alicia, for doing that. That made our whole day.
It really did. It's funny how social media can make your day. I don't know if it's ever done that for me before.
Well, I think sometimes social media gets such a bad rap for like being negative, and I like when it does positive things. So
me too.
So yeah, it definitely mattered when that happened.
Yeah, definitely. So Garnered Cardi, still using my Malabrigo Rios in Indicita, I think is how you say the colorway, but it's a lot of jewel tones. It looks different in person than it does on here. It looks a little darker on here. It's a little bit lighter, but not a whole lot. But purples and greens and blues. It's fun. It's gonna be a fun finished object. It'll be a statement piece for sure.
Oh yeah, it'll be fun to wear. Okay, well, so my next one is when I said I was getting close to having a finished object, this is what I meant. So this is my Anker sweater by Petite Knit. And I finished the body and I did a sleeve. So
it's so close.
I did a lot and I'm really proud of it. So like this little stitch marker right here is where we were last week. So we finished the body, bound that off, and then did this whole sleeve. And I clearly haven't woven in any of the ends yet, but the sleeves on this I feel like just fly because it's so small. So you're doing decreases, I think, every like 7 rounds for this size. And I feel like I look down and all of a sudden I'm at like row 7 again. It's time to decrease. So this one I will probably have done by next week. I'm hoping I can get my little model to wear it in the snow to take a couple of finished object pictures. So hopefully the snow won't melt anytime soon. And we'll be able to do that because I'm really happy with this one and she's really happy to have it. She gets excited every time I pull it out. She's like, Mom, are you working on my sweater?
Aww. Yeah, what a cutie.
My next whip, I'm knitting this on US size 6 needles, so 4 millimeters. And this is in Cascade 220 Superwash in the Tuffet colorway. So a nice like grayish neutral.
I like it.
I like it too. I think it'll go with, well, she likes to wear black leggings all the time because mom wears black leggings all the time. So I think it'll be cute with her black leggings and some boots, and it'll be adorable. So
Agreed.
my next whip is my Anker sweater. And then, oh, you said you only have one.
Yeah, I only
so I'll
have
do my
one,
last
so.
one. I did make good progress this week on my CQ test knit. This has been so fun to knit. I love knitting color work because I feel like every time you like finish a row, it's like exciting to go on to the next one to see, when you add in a new color or just kind of see what it looks like as you keep going. So where are we? I split for the sleeves. So I did that last night, and I've gotten just a little bit under the underarms. So like, you don't know,
it looks so
2
good.
centimeters. But I really love it. So you continue the color work through the sleeves once you get there. This is what it'll look like on, and it's my cord is a little like short, so my stitches are a little scrunched on there, so it's not like spreading out to its full size. I'm knitting the second size in this one, so when the pattern comes out, I believe it's like the 39-inch bust, maybe. Don't quote me on that. I'll have a real answer for you eventually. But yeah, so I like to keep track of where I was last week, so I can kind of see my progress. So I was up here last week, and so I've done all of that. And now that I've split for the sleeves, the rounds go a lot faster. And I love it. I'm so happy with it. I'm so excited to finish it. I love that like the colors are a pop of spring with the purple and the blue, and it's just bright and happy. And I love it. And I can't wait to wear it.
I love it too. It looks so pretty. The colors you picked, I'm glad you switched them. They look so good.
I am really glad too. I think that especially with like the 5/8 length sleeve, it'll be a good like spring transition piece. So it stays cold here for a while. Like we've been known to have snow in like April in Indiana. So I think that it'll be a good spring piece. And it's Super Bowl Sunday when we're recording this, so we are going over to our parents' house to watch the game tonight. So this is going to be my knit I bring with me to knit during the game. So I should make a lot of progress on it today.
That's exciting.
So yeah, that's my last whip. I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to finish it. So I think, especially like, and as soon as I finish Elliot's sweater, I'm not going to cast on anything else. So I should be able to make fairly quick progress on this one. I envy those people who can knit like a sweater for themselves in 2 weeks.
Me too.
I want to be that person.
Eventually, one day, I would love to. I have to get faster at knitting though. I'm so slow.
I know. I feel like I'm not that slow. Like, but I also like I knit right-handed, so I'm a thrower. But I guess I'm not really a thrower because I'm more of like a flicker. Like I don't actually take my whole right hand off of the needle when I wrap it.
I do. I wish I did it. It's exhausting. I get like hand cramps from like releasing and then grabbing the needle again.
Yeah. So I don't know. I've tried to knit continental. My local yarn shop does a class on converting to continental for people who want to do that and try to knit faster. But I understand the mechanics of knitting continental, so maybe I just need to practice to bring up my speed. But I've actually done like a time trial before where I knit like a round of something like flicking with my right hand, and then I knit around continental with my left hand, and I'm faster flicking than I am continental.
Of course.
I like to do the research.
Yeah.
So maybe I just need to practice. I don't know. All advice welcome. I started crocheting, so you think that I would be faster with my left hand. And you're left-handed. So
yeah.
Be faster with your left hand.
Here we are.
But here we are both knitting right hand.
Anomalies.
So So those are my whips. I'm very excited about them. And I would tell you all the yarn that I'm using, but I kind of forget. So my main color, and this like kind of first row of the dots are Malabrigo Rios. The main color is ivory. I think the other one is like called whole grain or whole wheat. It's whole something. And then the middle dots are Painted Sky, and I believe that was called Rose Garden. And then the other ones are, oh look, I still have the ball bands here. So the blue is Sheepy Time yarns, and it's 100% Blue Face Luster. And then the purple is Swan's Island, which is organic merino, and it is in the vintage lilac colorway. Here's a random thing that my husband did yesterday. He gave the dogs a bath, and the dog shampoo is apparently lilac scented. We don't eat dog shampoo, I promise. But I discovered that my husband pronounces lilac as lilac, and I think that's very weird. So if you also pronounce lilac as lilac, let me know. I wonder if it's like a regional thing or if he just doesn't know how to pronounce it.
I've been getting a lot of flack from Brandon because I say the word ALWAYS more often. I say it as always. So like it has an O at the beginning. And Brandon's like, no, it's always.
Interesting.
I don't think it's that much different.
I love those like regional differences in pronunciation or like different like words for different things. I think that that's so fascinating.
It is.
I also wish I could be cool and call a water fountain a bubbler, like people in Rhode Island and Wisconsin. I think that's
they do it in Wisconsin too.
So
there was one time, I've always called shopping carts, but one time Brandon and I went to a grocery store with his dad, and he was like, "You grab a buggy," and I was like, "Oh, that's amazing! I can't believe he calls it a buggy."
I love that.
No, I do too. I wish I could call it a buggy. I could never pull it off.
For me, it would just sound disingenuous.
It would.
Like
then I told Brandon about it, and he was like, "He usually doesn't call it a buggy. I don't think. I've never noticed that." I was like, "Oh, so cool!" I couldn't believe he said it.
I love that.
It's pretty good.
I don't know. I think the ones that are popular or like controversial around here, and controversial in quotes because like, does anyone really care, are like Firefly versus Lightning Bug, because I feel like I use those very interchangeably. But some people have very strong feelings. And then in Indiana, there's like a whole like, is it a crawfish? Is it a crayfish? Is it a crawdad? Like all of those. So
I didn't realize that was such a big one there, but that does make sense.
I feel like it's more of a thing in the South, but we do have them here. So one time I was in a mom's group on Facebook, and somebody posted a picture of a crawfish or crayfish or crawdad or whatever you call it, and asked if somebody had lost their pet lobster. I don't think she was joking, but she might have been.
Oh.
I also think that she had very recently moved to Indiana and didn't know what they were.
I feel like our mom would have done that when she first moved to Indiana, and she didn't know that they had shopping malls in Indiana.
Yeah.
She could have been like, "Oh, did someone lose their lobster?"
She would also know that it would be too small to be a lobster, although maybe that's why they thought it was a pet lobster, because it was small.
I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of like having a hermit crab.
Oh, that's a fun one. I'd forgotten about that. All right, Grace, did you buy any yarn this week?
I bought a lot of stuff this week. I bought a project bag, I bought 2 skeins of yarn, and I bought some notions. Here we go.
Do show us, please.
All right, my project bag, I am so excited about. I got it. I was scrolling on Instagram, and one project bag maker that I follow called Hayseed Hopes or Hops, I forget which one it is. I think it might be Hops. Posted that she had won a giveaway from another project bag maker, and it had foxes on it, and foxes are her favorite. And I'm not really into foxes, but I'm into project bags, so I clicked over to the page to see what what she had, and she had released this winter collection a while back. I think it was probably closer to Christmas time. And like most project bag makers, she kind of releases them in batches. So if you don't get it with the release, you're kind of out of luck. And so I was looking, scrolling through the feed, and I was like, some of these are so cute. Some weren't really my style, but others were. And there was one that had these skiers on it. And I was fresh off the podcast thinking about like, oh, how much I love skiing. And then it was like, it was fate. I had to go and see if the ski one was still available. And it was. And it's so pretty.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
Yeah, they're like little skiers and there's snow behind them. And then it comes with this little tassel along with it. And it's very soft. And then like lined with this buffalo plaid kind of. And then on the inside, it's like a soft pink. I'm so obsessed with this project bag. It's bigger than I really wanted for a new project bag, but I'm never going to not want a large project bag to take a sweater along with me. Mm-hmm. So this is the Skiers Lodge project bag from the Prickly Owl Co. And I can't wait to use it. Even though it's like nearing the end of winter time in Virginia,
it's still
always winter and ski season in my heart. So I'm really excited about this. Once it came in the mail, I was so pumped. And she wrapped it so pretty. The funny thing is her shop and like she's in Florida. So I don't know how she managed like, oh, I'm going to do all the ski stuff, even though I live in the tropics, but
it's so cute. I love it.
Then yesterday I toured like 5 different apartment buildings and it was exhausting and it was a long day of remembering that I do have a budget and I can't get a 5-bedroom apartment home right in Old Town next to Fiverr Space. So I toured all these places. It was fun. I'll move into one of them eventually. And then at the end of my long day, I went to Fiverr Space because I needed yarn for the first sock of the Handmade Sock Society, which released on Thursday. I wanted to finish my Hibernation socks before I started on the new ones. And since I just finished the Hibernation socks this morning, I haven't cast this one on yet, but I bought this Hazel Knits Entice, and this is the Frost colorway. It's not coming through as well as it should, but it's kind of like a minty green, but a little leaning more toward blue. It's so squishy because it's 70% superwash, 20% cashmere, 10% nylon, and it's gonna be so fun. I'm really excited. I saw it at the shop and I was like, this is the one. I knew I wanted something that the whole vibe of the first one, it's the curling mist socks. So it's inspired by like getting up in the morning and going for a walk outside while it's still misty and dewy. And the colorway that Helen, the pattern designer, had picked was a dark forest green. But I was like, gosh, curling mist just sounds like something that would be great for a pretty blue like this. So got this.
I saw the pattern on Instagram and immediately regretted not signing up. So I think I might sign up late and do it because seriously, that pattern.
All of them are going to be so beautiful just based on that first one. Yeah, I love it. And then because I was at Fiverr Space, I couldn't resist getting more. So I also got this Periwinkle Sheep watercolors. This is also a fingering sock weight yarn. It's 70% superwash, 25% nylon. And this colorway is like a nice, somewhat bluish gray. I really like it. It feels plump, like it has a more luxe fiber in it, but it's just superwash and nylon. And did I say the colorway? It's the Ghost of Molly, which is kind of fun. I didn't have this one caked up because I don't know what I'm doing with it, but I could use it for another one in the Handmade Sock Society, so that's fun.
Did you buy a ball winder?
I didn't yet. I'm planning to, though.
Your cake looks like it was. Oh, did you have that wound out?
Oh no, this one was done by Fiverr Space. They did it in the store for me.
That looks amazing for being hand wound.
Yeah, no, I did not do that. I sat outside while they did it for me, and I worked on these socks. Nice. And then the last thing I have, which has disappeared. Oh no, it hasn't. is some Katrinkles. I don't know how you pronounce this, but I see it like this brand advertised all over the place. Cat wrinkles, catch wrinkles. Couldn't tell you. I got these stitch markers and they're all like knit two together, slip, slip, knit, and stuff like that. Because the number one way that I lose battery on my phone is by having Ravelry pulled up and just needing to know on which side do I slip, slip, knit and which side do I knit two together. So I thought the stitch markers would be quite helpful. So it's got slip, slip, knit, yarn over, slip one, knit one, pass over, knit two together, make one right, and make one left.
Nice.
I like them. I think they're fun.
They are fun.
So that's all my acquisitions. And then I also got some, I do have a lot to make up for. I also got some extra yarn, but it's not here yet. So I won't present it as an acquisition. But I was scrolling on Instagram last night at like 11 o'clock, and the Yarn Club, which is in Virginia Beach, their LIS, posted about how they were doing a sale on a bunch of yarns. So they had like 20% off of Autumn and Indigo and 30% off of other ones. And yeah, so I got like a haul from that. And we'll go over that one in a ride.
Yeah, you sent that to me and I was like, I really shouldn't, but I really want to.
Also, I think it's nice.
Yeah.
I have so that's my acquisition. Yeah. I don't have much of a stash, so I like stash building. It's a fun phase.
Yes. I am in the
even though everything was bought for like specific projects.
Yeah, well, sometimes those projects sit in your queue for a really long time.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
About that. All right. Well, I guess we should do some shout outs.
Yes.
Because this is slowly becoming one of my favorite parts of the podcast. And I have to pull up my notes to make sure that I get everything right for my shout out this week. So my knitting related shout out this week is to her name is Ra. She is at KnitBoop on Instagram. She's one of my favorite people to follow. I love her. She always like just has something really smart to say. And I'm sure that many people watching this have seen the very well-known knitting designer who has come out with a free sweater pattern based on Bernie Sanders mittens. And some more of you may know why that is really problematic and why she might be pretty problematic. And so I was like really sad because I have chosen not to like further support that designer until she tries to make amends. And I'm specifically not naming that designer, but if you are wanting more information, you can comment and we'll send you an email or a message on Instagram with some resources. So anyway, I didn't want to like do that because I just felt icky about it. But Ra is coming out with a really awesome Bernie sweater knitting pattern. She is looking for testers right now, which I can't do because I'm currently testing something else and have something maybe on my radar that I would also like to test coming up. But I'm really excited for her pattern to come out. And I'm looking forward to being able to support her. And I believe she's also either directly supporting her or compiling a list of other organizations you could support with the pattern proceeds or whatever. I also like that she's designing the sweater in Knit Picks yarn, which is very budget friendly. So I think I will probably once the pattern comes out, I will probably use the suggested yarn from Knit Picks, but then peruse her list of other suggested organizations and kind of donate the balance of what I like would have spent on maybe more expensive yarn for the sweater, because that just seems like a thing that Bernie would do. So anyway, I'm really excited for her pattern. It looks really cool. She's finished her sample and just posted it on Instagram either today or yesterday, and today's Sunday, the 7th, because I know that we don't upload these the same day we record them. So anyway, check her out. She's at KnitBoop on Instagram, and she's worth your time to follow. I think she's really great. So That's my shout out.
Good one. My knitting related shout out this week is something that just made me laugh out loud because I was, instead of doom scrolling on Twitter, I like to doom scroll on Ravelry and look at patterns. So I was just scrolling through one night looking at different suggested for you and popular on Ravelry patterns. And one of the things that came up is Teeny Tiny Bunny by Claire Garland. And when I saw it, I laughed out loud for like a good couple of minutes because Elizabeth's daughter Elliot loves coming up to people with her hands like this. She just goes, "Oh my gosh, it's a teeny tiny bunny."
Sometimes it's a turtle. Most of the time,
she's starting to diversify her teeny tiny animals, but at first it was only bunny with me. She would only tell me she had a teeny tiny bunny, and of course, your reaction is what it should be to a child. You're like, "Oh my gosh, it's so cute." So when I saw Teeny Tiny Bunny is like suggested for me on Ravelry, it's like £1 to buy the pattern, and it's actually like cute. It's not like it's a weird looking, so creepy kind of thing. Like it's like this felted mohair little project.
It's so cute.
I would never make it because I don't really have a use for like knitted bunnies in my house, but it really gave me a laugh. And if you would like to knit a bunny, then I recommend it because the name Teeny Tiny Bunny is so good.
So it's actually like really cute too. I'll see if I can like pop up.
Yeah, it is cute
of it because it is adorable.
And it's exactly what I pictured when Elliot comes up to me and says she has a teeny tiny bunny. Like, yes, I think that was like God communicating with the both of them that something was going to happen with them.
It was so cute.
Ooh, it really got me.
I love when she like asks you to hold the teeny tiny bunny, or like before. It's been a while since she's done this, but sometimes like we'll be putting her in the car seat, and she'll ask me to hold the bunny or the turtle while we drive, so it stays safe. Funny.
I love that it manifested in like real adult life too.
I know.
It's just so good. Good name.
It's so great. Yes. But the teeny tiny bunny, it popped up on my Ravelry too after you sent it to me. Just funny because it was a screenshot. It's not like it knew that I was looking at it elsewhere, but oh my gosh, it's so good.
It really was the funniest. Got me going. All right. Non-knitting related shout out. I have to stop crying.
Okay.
So funny.
My non-knitting related shout out is a rest in peace because we lost the actor Christopher Plummer last week. And I'm going to be honest, when I found out the news, it was through like my work Slack, and the girl who sent the news said, I thought he'd been dead for like 8 years. He was 91. So yes, he was old. But he was just in Knives Out, the movie that came out like a couple of years ago, which I think was maybe the last movie I watched in theaters. I loved that movie. But anyway, after we got the news that he had passed away, I watched The Sound of Music, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. And I think that, I will just have to use the Christopher Plummer ripping the Nazi flag gif even more often than I already do now. But he's just such a talent and, a beautiful singer, a beautiful actor. And I think that he will be dearly missed, but his contributions to film have been wonderful. Another one that I didn't realize, like I think I knew, but I didn't really know, is that he was in the movie Up, the Disney movie Up.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he plays the bad guy.
Really?
In Up. Aww. Yeah. So
what a role reversal.
I know. So I was gonna watch Up as my like tribute to Christopher Plummer, but I feel like I cry less at Sound of Music, even though I still cry. So
it's just because Up hits you with a gut punch from the beginning.
Yeah.
And then you can't stop thinking about it the rest of the movie.
Yeah. But yeah, I cry a lot at Sound of Music too. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I just cried.
At least you knew the general story of Nazism in that. Whereas, like, you start watching Up, and all of a sudden the wife miscarries, and you're like, oh no, I can't do it. That's a rough one.
Yeah, both great movies though. And you know what? Maybe I'm gonna watch Knives Out next as my Christopher Plummer tribute, because that is a great movie. If you haven't seen Knives Out, last I checked, it was on Amazon Prime, but I don't know if it still is. But think like Agatha Christie murder mystery in the 21st century. It's great. It's so fun.
It was fun. Yeah,
I loved it. And a great cast, like all-star cast in that movie.
Agreed.
What about you, Grace?
My non-knitting related shout out is food related. Brandon and I went to this new restaurant that's somewhat near my house during this week, and it's called Ruthie's All Day. We've been there before for brunch, but this was our first time going for dinner, and we both got like hanger steak, and then you could do 2 sides. And Brandon got his sides, and then I picked mine. So we each got to try all different ones. And I got this smoked cauliflower with tzatziki sauce. And I'm telling you, that was like, I can't stop thinking about it. That was like the best cauliflower I've ever had. So I just wanted to give my shout out to smoked cauliflower from Ruthie's, because it was so good. I still have some in my fridge because I couldn't eat all of my dinner because portion sizes are never right. But yeah, it was really good. And now I want to try to make it myself. Can I just roast cauliflower and put some tzatziki on it?
You could try.
Probably not going to be as good. Or I could just walk a couple minutes and get like buckets of it from there for the rest of eternity.
Also, shout out to cauliflower for being like the world's most versatile vegetable.
Yeah, it really came into its own in the last 5 years.
It did. I mean, like, you want rice? Make it out of cauliflower. You want pizza crust? Make it out of cauliflower. You want potatoes? Make it out of cauliflower.
And then it turned out to be good on its own too. Like we talked last week about how Brussels sprouts got a bad rap for a long time.
Yeah.
Cauliflower definitely did too. That's an ugly food.
It is.
I would not want to eat that unless someone else made it for me.
But yeah, shout out to cauliflower.
Good one.
Real MVP. All right, let's do our top 3. So it is currently Sunday, February 7th, but we will be releasing this in the middle of the week, and it'll be right before Valentine's Day. So we thought we would do a Valentine's themed top 3 today. And so we're going to do our top 3 love songs.
Yay!
Do you want to go first?
One? Sure, I'll go first. My number 3 is The Luckiest by Ben Folds. I like the long form storytelling in song that one is, and I think it's beautiful. And then my number 2 is Love Me Tender by Elvis. My good story behind that one is the first birthday I had that I was dating Brandon for. Does that make sense? Did that make sense? Yeah. The first time I had a birthday while I was dating Brandon. I guess I also talked about this last week. We went to Baltimore and he planned out the whole trip. And on the way to Baltimore, he gave me a gift. And it was did you know that people do this? You can get music boxes, but without the music box. So it's just the music player.
Oh.
I didn't know this was a thing. He got me one, and it plays Love Me Tender. So
I love it. I knew that it played Love Me Tender, and I didn't realize what it was. So it's just like the music part.
Yeah, this is like when you buy a music box, and this little part sticks out.
Interesting.
That you twirl. This is where the music's coming from. You can see all the little mechanics of it. These are like the notes, which feel like Braille, and then these little guys ping and play music. And it's so sweet. It just, touched my heart. And then I also love the song already. So it was good.
And you love Elvis. So
I do love Elvis. I have an adoration for Elvis for sure. And then my number 1 is another artist that I have a lot of adoration for. It's Dolly Parton. So my number 1 favorite love song is Before I Met You by Dolly Parton and Porter Wagoner. And It's the sweetest song. It's so short, like the complete opposite of the Luckiest, where that's like this long form, like 5-minute song. Before I Met You is like 2.5 minutes and you're out. And it's just simple and sweet. And it's about how I thought life was great and I thought I'd known love. And then I met you. Oh, love it.
Have you seen the Drunk History episode about Dolly Parton and Porter Wagoner?
No.
Okay, you need to watch it.
Oh no.
Trevor and I have been rewatching Drunk History on Comedy Central. It's on Hulu. You can like catch up on all the episodes, and I just think it's the funniest show. Also, I think Derek Waters has the best job because he gets to just talk to drunk people about history, and I think that's hysterical.
Learn about weird things.
But yeah, there's a really great episode. I think it's I don't know how they do it in later seasons because we watched the first couple seasons when they first came out, and then we stopped watching it for a while, and then we just restarted from the beginning when we started watching it again. So I don't know if the format changed at all, but in the beginning it was all based on a city, and so I think it's the Nashville episode where they talk about Dolly and Porter, and it's a great episode.
Oh gosh, now I have to watch it.
It's so funny. Okay,
last weekend Brenda and I actually did watch a couple of Drunk Histories. We watched like a collection of all the ones Jenny Slate had done, and they were funny.
I love Jenny Slate.
Me too.
My favorite Jenny Slate role will forever be Marcel the Shell with shoes on, though.
Yeah, that's how we got started on it, actually. And then we were like watching Marcel the Shell, and then he put on some Jenny Slate interviews, and she was talking about the book, which you actually bought me.
I did.
My birthday one year.
The most surprised I've ever been.
And then we somehow transitioned from interviews to Drunk History.
Drunk History is so great. I love it. Okay, so anyway, my top 3.
Now that we're talking about drunkenness, let's talk back about love.
Actually, my first story, or my number 3, can also be traced to a drunk story. So that's fine. Actually, it's not really drunk, but so anyway, it was our Trevor and I's first dating anniversary, and he had come down to Indiana because we were like long distance relationship at the time, and we had plans to go see Journey in concert, and we were very excited. We both really liked Journey, and they were touring with like the new frontman who basically sounds exactly like the original frontman. We were just really excited about it. And the day before the concert, we got rear-ended in a car accident. And we were both fine, but we did both end up in the hospital, just to get checked out. We had pretty bad whiplash. The person who hit us was going pretty fast. But thankfully, nobody was seriously injured. Everybody was fine. But but the next day we went to the Journey concert, and I had told Trevor that I would be the designated driver, because this was my gift to him for our anniversary. And he had not very much to drink, but you when you're taking medication for pain that you endured during a car accident, and then you had alcohol, sometimes things don't go very well. And so we were watching Journey, and the song Faithfully came on, and he told me that he wanted to dance to that song with me at our wedding. And this was our first dating anniversary, and that did not make me worried at all. I was just like, okay, but sweet, it's a song about a long distance relationship and making it work, and I really love the song. And I was like, okay, great, that's going to be our dance at our wedding, done. Check that off the planning list, several years in advance. So 3 more years go by, and we're planning our wedding, and he's like, what song are we going to dance to? And I was like, Faithfully by Journey, obviously. And he's like, what? He had no recollection of telling me that he wanted to dance to that song at our wedding. So it was our first dance. We did do a acoustic cover by Boyce Avenue because we got married in a barn, and Journey aesthetic plus barn aesthetic didn't really go together. But it was really great. So that's my number 3, is Faithfully by Journey. And then my number 2 pick is another song that was played at our wedding. Actually, all three of these were at our wedding, because what better place to showcase love songs than at a wedding? So this is the song that like my parents and my bridesmaids all walked down the aisle to, and it is "I Will" by the Beatles. I think the Beatles just had a really like a knack for writing like simple, beautiful love songs, and I don't think "I Will" gets enough credit for being as lovely as it is. Because it's really just about like loving and appreciating the person that you have and not trying to change them, which I think is lovely. So that's my number 2 choice is "I Will." And then my number 1 is the song that I walked down the aisle to, which is "Can't Help Falling in Love," of course, originally by Elvis. I don't think I've heard a cover of the song that I don't like, because I think the song is just beautiful enough on its own that it doesn't matter who sings it. It's always relevant and lovely. I particularly like the Ingrid Michaelson version because I love Ingrid Michaelson. But that's my number 1 is "Can't Help Falling in Love." But I also wanted to give like a shout out to an honorable mention, I guess, to the song "You and I" by Ingrid Michaelson, which I think is kind of a silly love song because it's about like, don't worry, honey, we don't have any money, but we got our love to pay the bills, and like all the things they would do if they were rich. And my favorite line in that song is "Let's get rich and give everybody nice sweaters and teach them how to dance." And that's literally my whole life, is like knitting nice sweaters and teaching people how to dance. And I'm certainly not rich, but I'm living that part of the dream. So shout out to "You and I" by Ingrid Michaelson, because that's my other favorite love song.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love that song. It's just so like bouncy and happy, and you can't help it.
It is very bouncy. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is it's playing in my head, and I was like, doo-doo-doo.
So, yeah, those are my top 3 love songs. So, Grace, are you guys doing anything for Valentine's Day?
We talked about it last week, and then we got sidetracked, and then we talked about it again this week, and I can't remember if we came to a conclusion on what to do for Valentine's Day.
We haven't talked about
it. No.
So I'm guessing we're probably not doing anything.
We'll probably go out and eat dinner somewhere. I don't know. I forget what we planned. We were thinking about doing this like brunch themed cocktail class.
That sounds fun.
Up in Baltimore. And I'm not sure if we decided to do that or not.
That sounds fun. I would do that with you.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Well, I think that's all we have for everyone today. So. Thanks for joining us on episode 4.
Yes.
And
be sure to like our video if you watched it, and subscribe to our channel, because
yes, please,
we're very fun to follow.
Oh yeah. And then you can find us on the internet in various places. So we are Sister Knitting Society on Instagram. And then if you want to follow me, I am Cinnamon and Spice Knits on Instagram, and EA Pike on Ravelry.
And I am Grace Moser on Instagram and Ravelry.
It's very convenient.
It is.
I feel like I should change mine just to be consistent, but it's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will see you next week. We'll be recording on Valentine's Day. Unless we have to record early because Grace is doing a brunch themed cocktail class.
Yeah, who knows?
We'll keep you posted. All right. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. We'll see you next time.